70,000 sheets of gold, 12 years of obsession, and a living coral reef hidden inside a house that costs more than most skyscrapers. In January 2025, this sold for $115 million. But calling it a house would be the first mistake. This property took 12 years to build, used $27 million worth of Italian stone, and contains 70,000 sheets of gold leaf applied by hand. It sits inside Emirates Hills, a gated enclave so private that residents compare it to a country hidden inside a city. They call it the Marble Palace. And in this video, we're going inside every extraordinary detail, from the 60,000 square foot interior and living coral reef to the private power station beneath it, to understand why this isn't just one of Dubai's most expensive homes. It's a monument to what happens when money is given unlimited time. The Marble Palace is so large that the numbers need to be understood before the house can be. In January 2025, it sold for $115.7 million, making it the second most expensive residential property transaction in Dubai's history. But the sale price is only part of the story. The palace contains 60,000 square feet of interior space on a 70,000 square foot plot and took nearly 12 years to complete. The Italian stone alone costs up to $27 million. These aren't the numbers of a luxury home. They're the numbers of an obsession. And that obsession begins with a material that covers almost every surface inside the palace: Italian stone. The Marble Palace is defined by one material above all others: Italian stone. Not a few feature walls, not a decorative lobby, the entire house. Marble, travertine, limestone, and onyx cover nearly every major surface, sourced from quarries across Italy and matched so precisely that the veining flows continuously from floor to wall, room to room, without interruption. The effect is extraordinary. The interior doesn't feel assembled, it feels carved. The stone alone costs up to $27 million and weighs thousands of tons, requiring heavier foundations and stronger structural systems throughout the building. This wasn't decoration. It was the design. The palace wasn't covered in marble. The palace was built around it. If the Italian stone defines the palace's structure, the gold defines its atmosphere. More than 70,000 sheets of 24-karat gold leaf were applied throughout the interior by a team of 70 craftsmen over 9 months. Ceilings, columns, archways, door frames, and decorative details were all finished by hand using techniques that have existed for centuries. The result is not just decoration, it's a transformation of light. Gold leaf absorbs and re-emits light, making entire rooms appear to glow from within and creating the warmth once reserved for palaces, cathedrals, and royal residences. This wasn't a finishing touch, it was an attempt to change how the building feels. And nowhere is that feeling more immediate than the moment you step through the front door. The Marble Palace's entrance exists to do one thing: change your sense of scale. The journey begins through a formal motor court, past fountains, stone pathways, and symmetrical landscaping designed to separate the outside world from what comes next. Then the space opens. A multi-story foyer rises beneath a gilded dome, its ceiling finished with hand-painted details inspired by Europe's great Baroque palaces. At its center stands a marble staircase wide enough for 6 people to walk side by side. Nothing here feels accidental. Every proportion, every material, every line was designed to create a single impression that you are no longer entering a house. You are entering a palace. And beyond that entrance lies perhaps the most revealing number in the entire property: 5 bedrooms inside 60,000 square feet. One of the most revealing facts about the Marble Palace is also the strangest. It contains 60,000 square feet of interior space and only 5 bedrooms. That's 12,000 square feet per bedroom. The reason is simple: these aren't conventional bedrooms. They're private residences inside a larger residence. The master suite alone spans 4,000 square feet, with double-height ceilings, golf course views, a marble bathroom, a vast dressing room, and its own private sitting area. The goal wasn't to maximize the number of rooms, it was to maximize space. Because at this level of wealth, luxury is no longer measured by how much you own. It's measured by how much room exists between you and everyone else. And one feature inside the palace takes that idea even further: a living coral reef hidden inside the house itself. Among the most extraordinary features inside the Marble Palace is a 70,000-litre living coral reef aquarium. Not a fish tank, a functioning ecosystem. Corals, fish, and marine life are sustained by systems that control temperature, lighting, water chemistry, and filtration with extraordinary precision. The reef requires constant monitoring and specialist care to remain healthy. In practical terms, it's less like owning an aquarium and more like operating a small marine research facility inside your home. And that's what makes it remarkable. The reef isn't decoration. It's a living commitment, which raises an obvious question: what kind of infrastructure is required to keep something like this alive? The answer lies beneath the palace itself. The Marble Palace is not just a home, it's a private infrastructure network disguised as one. Beneath the marble, gold, and grand staircases sits a system more commonly associated with institutions than residences. The property includes its own private power substation, supplying the energy needed for 60,000 square feet of lighting, climate control, security systems, entertainment technology, and the living coral reef. It also contains protected emergency rooms with independent communications, air filtration, and essential supplies. Even the 15-car garage functions more like a gallery than a parking space. The palace doesn't depend on the city around it. It operates almost as a self-contained world, and that makes the neighborhood surrounding it just as important as the building itself. Emirates Hills. The Marble Palace makes sense only when you understand where it sits. Emirates Hills is often called the Beverly Hills of Dubai, a gated, golf course-wrapped enclave with private security, no public hotels or restaurants, and almost no reason to enter unless you already belong there. It's a community designed around privacy. Property values begin around $8 million and rise into the same league as Monaco, Knightsbridge, and Hong Kong's Peak. The residents aren't buying houses, they're buying separation. And that's what makes the Marble Palace so revealing. It isn't an exception to Emirates Hills, it's the ultimate expression of it. A palace built inside a neighborhood where the extraordinary is the minimum requirement. The Marble Palace took nearly 12 years to build. Not because it was difficult to finish, because it was impossible to rush. Italian stone was sourced and matched by specialists. 70,000 sheets of gold leaf were applied by hand. Engineers, craftsmen, and marine experts worked on a project that blurred the line between house and monument. This wasn't construction, it was an obsession made physical. And after 12 years, that obsession sold for $115.7 million. In January 2025, the Marble Palace sold for $115.7 million. Even after a 43% reduction from its original asking price, it became the second most expensive residential sale in Dubai's history. But the number only tells part of the story. The buyer wasn't purchasing 5 bedrooms, marble floors, or gold leaf ceilings. They were purchasing 12 years of craftsmanship, millions of dollars in rare materials, and a place inside one of the most exclusive communities on Earth. That's what makes the Marble Palace so fascinating. Its value isn't measured by what it contains. It's measured by what it represents. The belief that money, given enough time, can turn architecture into a legacy. The Marble Palace is not a house. It's a statement: 12 years to build, $27 million in Italian stone, 70,000 sheets of gold leaf, a living coral reef, a private power station, not because any of it was necessary, because it was possible. That's what makes this place remarkable. It wasn't designed around a budget, it was designed around a vision. And the result is a building that doesn't just redefine luxury, it redefines what a private residence can be. The Marble Palace isn't just a home. It's what happens when money meets patience, craftsmanship, and obsession. 12 years, $27 million in stone, 70,000 sheets of gold. One address. Subscribe for more extraordinary homes and mega projects. And tell us which feature amazed you most.